What is up, folks? It is Dr. Remy LeBeau, and I'm here in the X-Lair, as it were, as it always is. I got a little review here for you of a movie I didn't review when it came out because I've just been so busy and I just don't have time to. I didn't have time to review, and I thought, well, you know, given all the editing I wanted to do, that it just would have taken too much time, and that's why I've now started doing sort of like these long take, unedited, unproduced, like just discussion videos, which actually Brian Kucharek, which is one of the famous Kucharek brothers within, you know, the statue collecting community, him and I, you know, we talk every now and then, chat, comment, whatever, on the Twitter thing device program, Twitter, of course. It's funny to act like an old man, but no, Twitter, got it. Standard thing we all use, not, you know, specific to like an age group. It's just a useful tool for whatever. Anyway, so on Twitter, he mentioned that I should call these reviews on the run, which I like. You know, I like it. It has a nice sound to it. You know, like reviews on the run with Dr. Remy LeBeau. And mainly because I'm like on the treadmill. I mean, I'm not running, but I do run on this treadmill. So, and you know, depending on how fast you move, I guess you could consider me running. It's all relative. Anyway, reviews on the run it is. So I'm here with another episode of Reviews on the Run, and today we will be talking about this wonderful film called Captain America Civil War, ladies and motherfucking gentlemen. This movie. Mwah, yes, this a movie. I'm an Italian mother now all of a sudden. Maybe an Italian gypsy. It's unclear. Anyway, yeah, fucking this movie, man. Jesus Christ, man, this movie. Alright, well, before I even get into the fucking awesome movie, let's talk about this thing, okay? This is the Steelbook Blu-ray. You know what's really fucking awesome is that this doesn't come out till tomorrow, and I have it today because I pre-ordered it from Best Buy, right? So I fucking learned my lesson recently. I tried to get the fucking Batman v Superman Blu-ray Steelbook exclusive, whatever the fuck edition, from Best Buy, and they were sold out at fucking 3 o'clock when I went to buy it on the day it was released. And I learned my lesson. I should just fucking pre-order online. I don't have to deal with any of that crap. So I pre-ordered this guy as soon as I could, and it arrived yesterday. And it arrived on Saturday, and today is Sunday, and today's Monday, and this doesn't come out till tomorrow. So if you pre-order shit online, like, you get it early, even though I know they released the digital version early, like, it's not the Blu-ray, and people like myself who like the Blu-rays, you know, like, we don't get to order it early, so the fact that this came out on Saturday for me is cool, you know. Anyway, got it on Saturday, and like, am I so fucking glad I did, because look at it, it's amazing. Like, the design is just beautiful. Like, this cover, like the helmet and the shield, all battle damaged. Stop it, Marvel. And then you turn it around, and you've got that iconic fucking shot of like Cap, you know, defending himself against like Iron Man's like laser beams. And that's like straight out of the comic book. This is straight out of the Civil War comic book. So it's so great. Anyway, this comes in the mail. It's freaking gorgeous. I'm just, look at this thing. They keep outdoing themselves. Marvel keeps outdoing themselves with like the steel books and the films themselves, which is a great segue to talking about this actual movie. Alright, I mean, as everybody else, like, I was super excited about the fact that Spider-Man was going to be in this, because god fucking damn it, Spider-Man is Marvel, Marvel is Spider-Man, okay? That the entire time I was fucking reading comics, growing up, Spider-Man was always in the fucking logo. He was always in that box on the top right that had the issue number and the month. He was Marvel, and Marvel is Spider-Man. So, like, just to think that there could be a cinematic universe that is in the Marvel universe and not have Spider-Man in there is just, it's almost like it's sacrilege is what it is. Like, it's breaking some like natural laws that God herself set forth for us. Like, how dare you make a Marvel universe without Spider-Man, and like the fact that it was able to be established and thrive the way it did, and in a really great way that I really enjoyed. It's like the quality of what's been released is top notch. So they did a good job of establishing a universe without Spider-Man. But now they get to have Spider-Man. Now Marvel actually gets to be Marvel in this new fucking arena that they have mastered. They actually get to be themselves by having one of their main fucking characters that define them, the iconic characters that define them, to finally be in their Marvel universe. Once again, representing them the way that he was meant to do. And I don't know. It's just that was enough to like make this movie like the best thing ever. But like the execution of the film, all the characters, Black Panther. I mean, like, I never imagined that they could pull off Black Panther so well. Like, so much so that in a movie that with everything that was going on, including the introduction of Spider-Man into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, that he would be a standout character in the movie. Like, that to me is just mind-blowing, and like the fact that they pulled it off in the way that they did, and the fact that there's like a standalone Black Panther movie coming, and that he's going to be part of the Marvel Universe, including the Avengers from this point forward, is just so good that it's just so good. Yeah, so this movie, like, story, great. I'm not going to go into all the details because it's just, there's a lot to pick apart. And you know what? Overall, I just liked the movie. I really enjoyed it. Everything about it was enjoyable. But really, that fucking 17-minute sequence in the airport. God. I mean, I'm sure all of you experienced it. It was like film crack. It was like eye crack, right? Like, I mean, I couldn't take my eyes off of it. I was happy the entire time. It was wonderful. It was everything I've ever wanted out of a superhero film, but especially a Marvel film, like a Marvel Universe film. And just to see Spidey in there with like Falcon and like Winter Soldier and Captain America and Ant-Man and like just Black Widow, just everyone, Iron Man, just everyone in there, just like going at it, and like, and they went on at it for a long time. Like, it wasn't like quick, and like it just kept going, and it was just so satisfying. And I'm sure all of you experienced it. I was crying. Like, there were tears for me. It was a great sequence. As far as like the overall story, like, great, like, I mean, for me, to be honest, like, I'm an X-Men guy. If you didn't know, I'm an X-Men guy. Like, I always read X-Men, but I always read Spider-Man as well. So I'm a Spider-Man guy as well. I'm a Spider-Man person as well. And so, for me, like, the Avengers, I always read the Avengers whenever there were crossovers, whenever like we had the big like Marvel crossovers like the Infinity Gauntlet. Like, I read that off the fucking rack. Any of the big events that were occurring in Marvel, I would usually read, and because the X-Men were always involved in some way, and then the Avengers were also there. So then you had like Cap, and you had like Iron Man, but I never read that part of the Marvel universe myself explicitly. And so the whole Winter Soldier, Bucky Barnes, Captain America thing, based on what's happened in the films, like I like the story. I feel emotionally invested in the story, but I don't have that nostalgic tie. Like, I don't feel that nostalgic tie. And so like all that stuff, like it's really intriguing, and like the whole backstory with Tony's parents, like all of that, really great. Like just executed flawlessly, like an interesting story. But like in no way did it excite me at the level that I was excited any time that Spider-Man was in the movie. Any time that you know it was Spider-Man interacting with all these characters. Like those moments were just they did it for me, and I'm sure that's the case with a lot of people, because everybody's been waiting for this. That's like a fan person. Like, you've been waiting for this as long as I've been waiting for this, and when it finally happened, like, obviously it's going to be like us blowing our cinematic loads all over our face, chest, and neck, as Kevin Smith would say. Yeah, so fucking great. Anyway, this movie was fantastic overall. Like, it really raised the bar in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like, there's been a lot of backlash with Avengers: Age of Ultron, and I don't know. Like, I still like it, but it has like taken a little steam out of how I felt about it. It's that's just I won't get into it, but I do like the film a lot. It's just the whole cinematic universe thing. It's so fantastic, and it just keeps going. Like, we're about to get Doctor Strange, and then Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and then Thor 3. I mean, there's just a lot of really, and then Spider-Man, and then Avengers: Infinity War, and then I think Black Panther and Captain Marvel, and a bunch of other things. Like, it's just great. Yeah. I just feel it keeps getting better and better, and like, I mean, obviously it's never gonna happen, but I wish the X-Men would come home as well, would have their own homecoming, as it were. X-Men Homecoming, maybe, at some point. It'd be so nice, but I'm not gonna hold my breath, But maybe they form a deal, like maybe like if the standalone Spider-Man film does a lot and like Sony really reaps in the profits, then Fox will be like, you know what? We could be making more than like the shitty return that we made on Apocalypse on these films if we incorporated our characters into the cinematic universe that, is centered in Marvel, which is where these characters belong, So it's possible that that'll happen. If it does, like, I'll be really happy about it, I'm sure all of you will as well. I mean, it'll be amazing. What am I saying? It'll be so good. So good. Oh my god, to have like Storm and Black Panther marry at some point, that would be so dope. Just a lot of stuff. Of course, just like make Quicksilver and the Scarlet Witch Magneto's children, yeah. And then we could have M-Day, where we could have the House of M storyline first, where Wanda Maximoff creates the alternate reality, where Magneto's like in charge of the world essentially, and like mutants dominate the planet. But at the end of that, she says no more mutants, and then like the mutant population is decimated down to like 198 mutants. And changing the whole nature of the stories that were being told about the X-Men from that point forward. I mean, that whole period I think is my favorite period of any stories of any of the X-Men in the lifetime that I've led, as far as reading these stories. And for that to happen in the actual Marvel Cinematic Universe would be wonderful. There's so many stories to tell. There's so many interesting things to do with these characters and within the Marvel universe, or you can have other characters involved. Like, you can do the whole, you could do the whole Onslaught storyline where, Magneto and where Xavier, like, basically creates this, like, psychic version of himself that's, like, half him, half Magneto, essentially, and he's just like the worst villain ever, and the entire Marvel universe has to go up against him. And at the end of that storyline, like, the heroes disappear, like Captain America, Iron Man, pretty much all the Avengers disappear, and then they have this whole thing called Heroes Reborn or something, where all the characters, all of those characters like started a new world somewhere, and like they had like, and it was basically this whole approach by Marvel to try to revitalize the interest in these characters by bringing in like old amazing artists like Jim Lee and Rob Liefeld, and anyway, that didn't work out, and then the characters were brought back to the real reality. But anyway, there's a lot of fucking story potential there. God damn, like they could tell some really great stories. Like they need to realize how much money they can make by doing this. Maybe that's what I gotta do. Maybe I have to do that. I have to generate like a serious like paper on like how much money they could make. Anyway, all right. So yeah, dude, Captain America: Civil War, folks. Like, great freaking movie. Just great freaking movie. And look at this thing. It's so cool. I have not been able to take my eyes off of it for a few days. It just looks so cool. Yeah, watch this already. Of course, like watched the day I got it, and I'll tell you one thing. It's not the last time I'm gonna watch it. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that much. Anyway, I hope everybody is doing well out there in the world. You know, I know a lot of you are statue collectors, so I hope all that's going well for you. And everybody else, just you know, we've got a lot of great movies to look forward to. It's going to be a good rest of our lives, I think. It's going to be a good rest of our lives, I think. The DC Universe seems to be on semi-stable footing. Suicide Squad has made a lot of money, fortunately. So that's not going to screw up the momentum of the films, I think. Mainly because I think people liked Captain America: Civil War so much, I think, that like any damage that Suicide Squad might have done as far as like, you know, just the general response of it to it by general audiences, which is negative, that would not, I think, turn the average person against like comic book films, because that's the big danger. The big danger is like if the big audience is turned away from these films, is turned off to these films, then that could hurt how many of them they make and the quality that they make. So that's why it's important that they not fuck that up. Essentially, like they gotta go like the Pixar route, where like no matter what, everybody loves the fucking movies and people just can't wait for the next one. Like that's where it has to remain. Like DC has to bounce back. I hope it does. I think it might. Jeff Johns might do it. Anyway, folks, I hope everybody's doing well out there. It's always good to you know, share my thoughts on stuff with you guys and interact with you on the comments. You know, the few of you that have been around for a few years, it's cool. Like it's cool. We've relatively known each other for that long. I mean, you know, it's online, but you know, it is like we know each other. We've known each other for a few years now, so that's awesome, man. Hope all of you are doing well, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, go ahead and subscribe. I've got more videos coming. Eventually, I'll start overproducing my stuff again. Probably even better than before, but it's going to take a while before I get all that going. What else? That's it. As always, if you're given the option to put an X in the box, you should, because let's face it, folks, ain't nobody going to check this. Catch you later. Bye-bye.